A rainy stop that changed everything. The wipers scraped across the windshield, their tired rhythm blending with the patter of rain on a gray afternoon in Macon, Georgia. Evelyn Harper, a 38-year-old project manager, gripped the steering wheel, her eyes fixed on the road. She'd just left a marathon meeting that could have been an email, her mind foggy with exhaustion. All she wanted was to get home, slip into sweats, and heat up last night's chicken Alfredo. But as she drove down the quiet stretch of Mercer Road, headlights flashed in her rearview mirror. They grew brighter, closer. Her stomach tightened. Police. Evelyn signaled, pulled over, and sat still, hands at 10 and 2. No music, no sudden moves, just the rain and her steady breathing. 2 officers stepped out of the cruiser. One hung back, hand on his belt. The other, Officer Daniel Reed, approached, his boots crunching on wet gravel. Evelyn rolled down her window halfway. "Good evening, officer," she said, voice calm but firm. "License and registration," Reed said, his tone flat, eyes scanning her like she was a puzzle he didn't care to solve. "Of course." Evelyn reached for the glove box, pausing. "I'm just grabbing my registration, okay?" No response. She handed over the documents, and Reed walked back to his cruiser without a word. 10 minutes dragged by. Evelyn's heart beat faster, but she'd done nothing wrong. She was a rule follower, always had been. Then the second officer, Michael Tate, younger, maybe mid-30s, approached. "Ma'am, step out of the vehicle." Evelyn blinked. "I'm sorry, what's this about?" "Step out. Now." "Officer, I haven't been told why I was stopped." Reed returned, his voice sharper. "Out of the car. Now." Evelyn unbuckled, stepping into the rain. Her flats sank into puddled gravel, her blazer clinging to her arms. She stood tall, waiting for an explanation. Instead, Reed barked, "Turn around." "I don't understand," she said, still calm. "I just came from a meeting. I haven't done anything." "You're being detained," Reed snapped, grabbing her wrist. "Don't resist." The cold metal of handcuffs clicked around her wrists. Across the street, at a gas station, a small crowd gathered. A man shouted. She didn't do nothing. A woman started filming, her phone steady despite the drizzle. Another voice called out, "Why y'all cuffing her?" Evelyn's heart raced, but she stayed composed. Then she glanced at her smartwatch. Thank God it was on. With a quick tap, she called her father. On the other end, Judge Samuel Grayson, a Superior Court judge in Augusta, was wrapping up a meeting when his phone buzzed. "Evelyn, audio call." He answered instantly. "Evelyn." "Daddy." Her voice trembled. "They're cuffing me. I don't know why." Samuel stood so fast his chair scraped the floor. "Where are you?" "Mercer Road. I gave them everything. They just told me to step out." He heard voices in the background. "Stern, male." One said, "Resisting." Samuel's jaw tightened. "Keep the line open. Don't hang up." He grabbed his coat and left the courthouse, his assistant trailing behind, confused. In the patrol car, Evelyn sat cuffed, her blazer soaked. "Why are you doing this?" she asked the officer in front. "I didn't get a reason for the stop." "You looked nervous," Tate said, barely turning his head. "So looking nervous is a crime?" Her voice was steady, but her chest burned. "We'll sort it out downtown." Samuel, now in his car, dialed a second number. "Clara," he said to his friend, an editor at the Macon Telegraph, "my daughter's been detained outside Macon. It's going public. Fast." Clara didn't ask questions. "Send me what you've got." Samuel forwarded the live audio, his hands steady, but his mind racing. Back at the scene, a third cruiser pulled up. A sergeant, grizzled and heavy-set, stepped out. He scanned the crowd, then approached the cruiser. "Unlock her cuffs," he ordered. But she restarted. "Now." The cuffs came off with a clink. Evelyn rubbed her wrists, red from the pressure. The sergeant didn't apologize. "You're free to go, ma'am. We'll review the incident." Evelyn stepped out, grabbed her phone from the hood, and pressed her watch. "Dad, I heard it all," Samuel said, his voice low, controlled. "This isn't over." By morning, the videos were everywhere. 3 angles, 2 from across the road. One up close showed Evelyn, calm and composed, asking, "Why am I being detained?" Reed's response, "You were acting nervous," echoed online, fueling outrage. The hashtags Evelyn Harper and Macon traffic stop trended. News vans parked outside the Macon Police Department. The mayor's office issued a vague statement about reviewing the circumstances. Samuel didn't sleep. He sat at his kitchen table, files spread out, coffee cold. He'd replayed Evelyn's call a dozen times, her voice cracking but never breaking. He ran Reed's and Tate's badge numbers through the court database. Reed, 9 complaints, 6 from women, all dismissed. Tate, 3 excessive force reports, cleared. Samuel muttered, "Of course." He called a colleague at the Attorney General's office. "My daughter was detained illegally. I'm listening to it live. I want every camera, every angle." Evelyn, back at her condo, sat on her bed, still in her damp clothes. Her phone buzzed endlessly. Coworkers, friends, strangers. "Was that you in the video? I'm so sorry." She ignored them, scrolling through headlines. Black professional handcuffed without cause in Macon. She wasn't angry yet just numb. Samuel called. "You all right?" "I'm okay. Tired." "Eat something." "I will." A pause. "I don't want revenge, Daddy. I just don't want this to happen to anyone else." That's all I needed to hear. By noon, the story was national. A civil rights attorney tweeted, "This is systemic profiling, plain as day." Protesters marched outside City Hall, holding signs, asking why isn't a crime. The mayor's second statement promised transparency, but felt hollow. Samuel met privately with the city council president. "I'm not asking for favors," he said. "I'm asking for fairness. Push for a civilian oversight committee." Now, the turning point came quietly. Officer Tate walked into internal affairs. No lawyer, just guilt. "The stop was unnecessary," he admitted. "Reed said she looked like she was hiding something. I followed his lead. I knew it was wrong." His statement cracked the case open. Tate was suspended, but Reed dug in, defiant. At a bar, he griped to a buddy, "They're making me the face of everything wrong with this country." His friend stayed silent. The Macon Daily News broke a story. Officer Reed under review for multiple incidents. Past complaints surfaced. A teenage boy detained for looking nervous. No charges, no body cam. The mayor called Samuel. "We're reviewing Reed's position tonight." "You should have done that yesterday," Samuel said, hanging up. The next morning, the police department held a press conference. Chief Robert Ellis announced Reed's suspension without pay, pending investigation. A reporter shouted, "Why not fired?" Ellis dodged. Evelyn watched from her apartment, arms crossed. "They're trying to make it go away," she told Samuel. "They can't," he said. "Not this time." That afternoon, Reed resigned. A voluntary separation that fooled no one. Headlines screamed, "Officer in viral stop resigns amid outcry." Samuel refused interviews, focusing instead on policy civilian oversight, clearer traffic stop protocols. Evelyn returned to work, her heels clicking on the office tile. Colleagues whispered, some offered cautious smiles. She ignored the attention, diving into reports, reclaiming her routine. 3 months later, Samuel retired. At his ceremony, he spoke plainly. "A phone call from my daughter reminded me why I became a judge. She asked why, and they cuffed her for it. Justice begins when we say enough." The room stood in quiet respect. Evelyn and Samuel met at a park bench, coffee in hand. "You ever think what would have happened if you hadn't answered?" she asked. "No," he said, "because I did." Macon implemented new policies. Officers had to state reasons for stops. Civilian oversight was approved. Reed's career was over. No agency would hire him. Evelyn never spoke publicly about the incident, but her quiet strength reshaped the city. She gave a guest lecture at a local college, focusing on crisis management, not her story. People listened differently now. At a family dinner, Evelyn smiled for the first time in weeks. "All I did was ask a question," she said. Samuel nodded. Sometimes that's enough. The scales had tipped not with noise, but with refusal to stay silent. Evelyn drove home that night. The road clear, the rain long gone. What do you think? Should Evelyn have pushed for more, maybe a lawsuit? Was Reed's resignation enough, or should he face criminal charges? Share your thoughts in the comments, especially on police misconduct and injustice. Where do you stand? Your voice matters.